So tonight, from my side of the table, I want to speak from my own heart as the person who didn't use drugs or alcohol or food to cope, but whose life was entirely consumed by the adrenaline of chaos. John and I go back to high school. That's where we met. I don't know why he was still there. He was supposed to be gone by then, but he liked to do extra laps. He was busy with extracurricular activities, and my life had been a whirlwind of chaos already, so hey, I might as well bring in some more. I lived a very, like a whirlwind of rebellion, mistrust, and chaos. And I lived a very specific kind of exhausting, hyper-vigilant terror that became my daily bread. I became an amateur detective, professional detective, actually, really is what my classification should be. I don't even think he knew that you could get detailed cell phone billing back then, but you could. Oh, yes, you could. I became a hostage to hope all at the same time. Just as you so beautifully explained, Leah, thank you so much. I was a professional cleanup crew. I was an enforcer, whether you wanted me or not, and I was very creative in my methods. In those dark years, I wasn't just watching the person that I loved burn his life down. I felt like I was standing right in the smoke, trying to keep the walls from collapsing on our family. I lost my voice. I raised my voice. I stood frozen, and I pounded my fists, and I screamed and I yelled. I had no peace. And eventually, I started to wonder if ashes were all that would ever be left of my life. People often ask me what the turning point looked like, usually from a perspective of like, what should I do? What did you do? What can I do? I could describe a movie scene thunderous and devastating, the proverbial bottom that rapidly consumed us. In my moments of profound, painful surrender, I reached the end of my hope, what I thought was the end of my rope, and John reached the end of himself, unable to live and shockingly incapable of consuming enough substances to get his wish of death. He finally surrendered to the truth that he sucked at living life, and he needed some help. And it wasn't me. He entered recovery a couple times and began the brutal, beautiful process of being reborn. But here's the deepest secret of my journey. When he got sober, my own addiction to chaos, the adrenaline of life, was only just being revealed. When the chaos stopped, the silence terrified me. Suddenly, I was left standing in the wreckage, looking at the person across from me, wondering, who are you? And who am I when I'm not trying to save you? I had to learn that John's sobriety was his journey, but healing was my decision, my own choice. It required a level of vulnerability, forgiveness, and radical trust that I didn't know that I possessed. I didn't just need John to stop using. I needed a miracle of restoration for my own heart, my own self. And piece by piece, day by day, I watched that miracle show up. We didn't just survive. We fought, like actually fought, like a lot, but we fought. I remember saying, we did not come this far to give up now. For so many years, my life now has been intertwined with men and women fighting for their lives, watching them fight the same demons John fought. I've sat with their families in so many places. I've seen the same fear in the eyes of their wives and mothers that I carried in mine. And that's where the seed, I think, for everything else for me was planted. That I didn't just want to survive, and I didn't want a mediocre life. I wanted healing, and I pursued healing so hard. I saw that addiction thrives in isolation, and that the only antidote to isolation is a community that refuses to let you hide in your shame. And that's the heart of Ashes to Rubies. It's what drove us to do these shows. And as I was writing this, I was trying to remember why I organized these, because it was feeling hard. And I was pretty ready to give up. So we chose the name. I kind of fell on it by accident. I was blogging. I don't know if some of you are even old enough to remember blogging, but okay. I'm not that old. Okay, writers. I got a lot of writers in here. So I was, yes, millennial. Okay, so, well, I feel old. I don't know. I didn't know millennials blogged, because then blogging disappeared. So I blogged a lot, and Ashes to Rubies was the name of our blog, and I was writing our story, and then I got scared because I had kind of a public job, and I took it all down and thought I saved it all, and I lost it all, which was very sad to me, but I know from my own life that the ashes just don't disappear. This is where it didn't quite get finished, but we chose the name for a reason, because there's a verse in the Bible in Isaiah 61 that talks about beauty for ashes. And the painful chapters of my past were not erased as if they never happened. Instead, I found that the very material of my pain, the darkest, heaviest, most burnt out parts of my story, have become raw ingredients that God has used to build something truly breathtaking. And when I look around this room tonight, and every time we do this, I love that it's not a place where we come to swap old war stories or romanticize the struggle. That's fun sometimes. It really is. But I experience this as a place where our vulnerability, we can look each other in the eye and say, I'm not defined by what I survived. I am defined by the purpose I am living out today. So to anyone in this room who is in the early days of recovery, whether it's day 2, day -5, day 20, or year 2, whether you've been on this loop way too many times than you care to count, I just want to encourage you to keep going. I just want to encourage you to keep fighting. The life waiting for you on the other side of surrender is bigger than anything addiction ever promised you. And to the families, the spouses, the mothers, I see you because I was you. Your pain matters too, and your healing matters too. You're not just a spectator in this story. Nearly 20 years ago, I thought that fire was going to consume us. And tonight, I look out on this room and I realize that the fire didn't destroy my life. It just refined it. So thank you for being part of our story, all of you. I'm so grateful, and I'm always so honored that people show up and that we get to have a place where you can show up and you get to tell your story, whatever that looks like. So thank you for letting us be part of yours.